Hello everyone, you are in the AutoCraft shop and today we will be repairing a Skoda Kodiaq that was pulled out of the swamp. The accident occurred late in the evening. The driver went to overtake the car in front, but did not notice that the road goes to the right. In order not to throw it into the oncoming lane and not tempt fate, the driver decided to go straight. Jumping off the road and touching the right side of the guard post, the car stuck in a bush and fell through the soft ground. After the accident, a donor hood was installed on the car, a front panel with radiators, a new headlight in order to get to the workshop. We start the repair with the doors, as spare parts for the front will arrive a little later. Due to the fact that on modern machines the metal is quite thin, before using the spotter, we try to squeeze out the stiffeners as much as possible from the inside and give the metal the correct shape. We disassemble the door, with a mount, carefully so as not to make unnecessary dents. We squeeze out the metal, constantly applying a ruler and tapping the formed creases with a hammer. And so gradually, slowly, we return the metal to its original shape. We install the molding and those places where we slightly crush the metal become immediately visible. We remove the molding and gently tap the rib, making sure that there is a narrow gap even over the entire length of the molding. Having finished with the back door, go to the front. Everything is the same with the front door. We squeeze out the metal from the inside as much as possible. With a hammer we upset the creases formed during deformation. And only when both moldings on the doors fell into place it was time to work as a spotter. We clean the metal from the paint and pull out the pits that cannot be squeezed out from the inside, since amplifiers are installed in these places in the door cavity. We do this carefully so that later we do not have to grind these places. After finishing straightening, we close the open metal with an wash primer, then with an acryl primer. Spare parts arrived and we begin work on the face. Remove the headlights and put the fender mount brackets in place. Since the fender completely blew off during the accident, all the brackets are badly bent. By gradually installing and removing the fender, we align the brackets and set the fender to the correct position. After the fender has taken the correct position, we weld the lower bracket, which is torn off from the A-pillar. We adjust the fenders and the hood make the same gap. Adjusting the right headlight. Remove and put in place, bend the landing sights of the headlights. We achieve the gap we need. All this work is rather long and tedious, and therefore we increase the repair speed in the video by 50 times. Finished with the upper gaps and move on to the lower ones. I tried bending the lower brackets of the bumper amp. The metal was very thick and unyielding. I had to heat it up with an acetylene torch. This car left a very mixed impression of itself after the repair. On the one hand, all the reinforcing components of the body are quite powerful and made firmly and soundly, such as amplifiers in the door cavities. But on the other hand, the door trim is made of very thin metal. The front fender is mounted on some thin brackets that are easily bent by hand. And the fender fixed to all the bolts. If you pull it forward easily gives in and changes the gap between the fender and the door. Perhaps the manufacturer put some meaning into it. Installed the bumper. The bumper got up quite easily and snapped into place. These are the gaps turned out even from top to bottom between the fender and the door, an even gap between the hood and the fender, and the same gap above the headlights and the grille. In this form the car is sent for painting. We have this final result. Details are well painted. Even gaps on the right side of the car. The rear door after straightening stood in the doorway in the correct position. Although at first we thought that there was damage in the area of the lower door hinge. The doors open and close very well and softly. Even gaps on the face. However, there were small problems with the left headlight. The headlight was split from below in the accident. We tried to deal with it somehow. Tried to dry the headlight, but the headlights on this car are non-separable. Friends, I remind you that we are trying to shoot interesting videos for you. And you in turn press something under the video, write comments, and do not forget to subscribe. We are starting the repair of the next car. See you soon.